Welcome to another episode of the Criterion Cult Podcast. Before we get into it, I just want to mention that great intro music that you hear at the beginning is done by Diego the D-Man Diaz. That's right, I'm passing out nicknames. Diego, you did the music for us.
Yes, I did.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
So if anybody wants some fucking, some metal music for their podcast, hit up Diego.
Yeah, for sure.
Hit up the Demon.
You have a cameo. Is that what it's called? Like you do birthday songs in metal? Or something?
Yeah.
He does.
Metal.
Yeah. He did, for my anniversary, you did a metal song. I'm your host, Jordan Garcia, one of the hosts. We got...
Diego the Demon Diaz.
Hell yeah.
Armando Arvizu.
And Ignacio Vielma.
Hell yeah, and we are the Criterion Cult Podcast. And if you don't know what it is that we do here, let me just explain for you. We watch films that are in the Criterion Collection, and we talk about those films. And then also, every episode, one of us brings a film that they believe should be in the collection. And if you don't know what the Criterion Collection is, it is a company that basically finds films from all around the world, from all different times, and puts them out and restores them, makes them, just better for you to watch with the sound quality, the picture quality, and also just gives you a bunch of really cool extra features and really cool packaging. And today we're going to be talking about...
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Le Samourai. Le Samourai came out in 1967. It's a French neo-noir film directed by Jean-Pierre Melville. I'm not sure that's... Oui. Yeah, so this movie, neo-noir type film, it starred Alain Delon. I kind of just memorized the names of the characters who I guess were most memorable. So, and also his wife was in this movie. She Nathalie Delon plays his girlfriend in this movie. Jane.
Jane?
Oh, I thought they just had a last name.
The blonde one?
Yes, the blonde one.
Okay.
So I looked it up and I guess they were like married at some point. And then
interesting. I didn't know that.
Kathy Rosier playing Valerie. Okay, so I'll go through the movie. So this movie's about a hitman, like a lone wolf, kind of quiet, just on his own. I guess the first scenes you see. He creates an alibi. Like, he's, I guess, good at creating alibis for these hits that he does. And that's what this movie's basically all about is him being contracted to kill this club owner. And, he's creating this alibi in his way there. And he goes and he murders the club owner. And then there was witnesses that viewed him doing this. And the rest of the movie is basically kind of a chase of trying to capture this hitman, but also like investigating witnesses and him being stabbed in the back, I guess you can say, because the people who initially hired him for this hit, because there were witnesses, he now has a hit on him. They wanted no one to be able to see this, so yeah, it's pretty much
yeah. And did you mention the movie that you picked to be in the collection?
Oh no, I didn't. So
you don't have to explain too much about it now, but just what is the movie?
So yeah,
about?
we did Le Samourai, and the movie that I want to bring into the collection is Drive. Yes.
All right, well, we'll get to that later, but fellas, let's talk Le Samourai. Jean-Pierre Melville. I mean, I don't know. It seems like you have to say shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But so I had seen this before. None of you guys had seen it before?
No.
This was my first time, actually. Yes.
Yeah, that is great. That is fantastique. Because let me tell you, to experience this movie for the first time, I think is pretty great. I hadn't seen it in a while, and watching it again, I think right off the bat, I think we should kind of talk about the comparisons to Drive.
Yeah.
You bringing Drive to the collection. What comparisons do you think you saw mostly, Nacho? Like in terms of
first, I guess most importantly is like the whole protagonist thing, right? Ryan Gosling, Mr. Alain Delon, Jeff Costello.
Yes.
This lone wolf, this person who's just, I guess, set in this world, just in their
like they're just like their profession is like their life. They don't have any other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that much about these characters either. It's very mysterious. Right. You don't know much about them either. They're just on their own, and yeah, I mean there was that, and then also like slightly the music, a little bit of drive, and this, the whole synth thing, like, in the beginning.
Well, it does have that song at the beginning mostly, but
they play it like twice, but it kind of like...
But it's mostly like a jazzy kind of like noir kind of soundtrack throughout it mostly. But it does have that feeling at the beginning, and where it does that same thing where he goes out and gets in a car and it has like a synthy song playing of him still in the car. And it's really funny, just if you haven't seen the Samourai, the way, because this takes place in, not takes place, but it was came out in 1967. And so, he doesn't have like this really crazy way to steal cars. He just has this huge ring of keys.
That was great.
He sits down and literally goes through every single one. He's just sitting there looking straight.
I like how he was doing that. Like he was just like kept calm. Like he's just sitting in the car. Like, but the whole time I was imagining like someone was like, "Hey, you're in my car. You're in my car."
I think one of the things about that particular thing is that it shows that he has the restraint and the patience as that hitman or as a samurai to like, not buckle under that sort of pressure where like, for me, after the first 2 keys wouldn't work, I'd be like, oh shit, and I'd be all panicked.
Well, I think that carries through the movie. Like they do a good job at capturing silence, which is one of the things I caught from it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
In movies a lot, they try to do that where, they have quiet scenes or whatever, but it always seems like either they're trying too hard to convey that or it doesn't work out. And in this particular film, they did such a good job because most of the movie is pretty quiet. There's very minimal dialogue. There's very minimal sound. It's mostly like you seeing them do actions or facial expressions. A lot of it carries through that physical interactions and stuff like that. Less wording, less dialogue and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the movies this is one of the movies that did it pretty perfect. In my opinion.
Fuck yeah.
And then also...
To connect
it to Drive, too. The automotive part, the vehicle stuff. That's a big point in both films.
It's true. He steals a lot of cars and stuff like that in the same way. Where I kind of forgot about it. I just sort of didn't... I guess there is a lot more connections to it than I originally thought, actually. Like, I just kind of thought of the lone wolf kind of thing as a connection to it. Yeah. And now there is that. Yeah, there is a lot more kind of tiny connections, even with kind of the love interest thing that goes on here in a way. But Mondo, you were going to say something.
Just about the silence part about it. Like, especially in The Samurai, how, like, just how the scenes play out. Like, there's not much dialogue. There's very little. And just how the scenes are playing out, it kept me totally like enthralled in it, like I didn't want to like I don't know, I was just like so into it, and it was playing and it was just like it's not fast paced, it's not even, I don't even feel like it's really slow because I was so like into it,
Well, I mean, in some ways, and not to say that that's a bad thing, but there are like I could see people thinking that it is considered slow because the dialogue stuff, the lot of kind of walking around and things, people would consider that slow. The Cretans would think that that's slow. The uncultured swine. I'm just joking. But
so it doesn't feel dragged.
Exactly.
When you catch it, it's kind of like, that was it.
Yes, right.
Exactly. It wasn't slow. Like it never like I was just totally like I was like glued to the screen. Like I was kind of ready to watch like a foreign film, reading dialogue the whole time, and kind of just like pay attention.
It definitely is a foreign film, though.
It is. Obviously yes, but like like. You think you're gonna like be reading like dialogue the whole time, but
oh my god, reading! Can you believe it?
That's not a bad thing.
I know.
It's not a bad thing, but
for all those people out there,
you guys are gonna have to read some of these movies. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
We're throwing a book at you.
Well, this one you don't have to read that much. It's like it's all it's all storytelling, like showing, not telling you. That's
great. We got the one guy who doesn't like the movies that are old, Diego. We got the one guy who's like the movies that are too long, Nacho. And we got the one guy who doesn't like the movies that he had to read, Mondo.
I didn't say that.
Here we are, the Criterion Cult Pod. I know, none of you guys ever said. I'm just joking. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. No, you're right. It is great that it is mostly visual. That you can just follow along the story to that. So the director is able to tell the story in that visual style with very little dialogue. I mean, there is dialogue once it gets going that kind of explains. But I'm saying, at first you don't need any explanation. You just know he's a hitman and he's doing,
Well, just the beginning, like this was like a weird thing that it's just like a weird like kind of out of the like blue like shot in the dark like comparison, but his apartment, his just one room bedroom,
Yeah,
the
very
Samurai
essential.
Jeff Costello, the main character, it's just gray and he has a bird in there.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I immediately thought of Batman Returns.
Oh yeah.
A penguin when he just has that room upstairs and Catwoman's gonna eat his bird. Like that was like his.
It does have that
like,
kind of vibe
it just
to it.
had that like I'm for sure certain Tim Burton has saw the Samurai and just kind of like like decorated after that. Like I kind of want his room to look like this.
Probably, yeah.
Like just like a reference.
Tim Burton's a rotten thief. I imagine he did. No, I'm just kidding.
Like I just feel like definitely it was like sort of an influence. Like just one of those weird things.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for the La Samurai to just like grab the bird and eat it.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of those fools. Yeah.
Real quick though, this was your first time watching it, Nacho?
Yes, it was.
So what'd you think first time around?
Well, no, I enjoyed the film. I could see how it kind of, the similarities that we've been talking about between it and Drive.
Well, I mean, how about without the similarities though? Like, what did you think of it? Just
aside from that.
Yeah.
It's French. I'm not a fan. No.
Don't like the Frenchies, huh?
Stinking French.
No, and I'm okay with like movies that don't have necessarily so much dialogue, and that I would say that Nicolas Winding Refn's movies are like that. So I'm kind of not all, maybe not. Well, no, I would say
for the most part, yes.
They're
yes.
Kind of like
so it wasn't something that was new to me. It's a cool crime movie, man. I don't know. It's just I'm into jazz.
You don't gotta be I don't know and hold back. Give us your opinion. This is a damn podcast we're on. But I mean, no. Even if you feel, I'm just joking. Even if you feel kind of indifferent about it,
I want to know what you.
No. We need hot takes.
Are there things that I don't think
we need sound bites, buddy? Come on, let's get it.
Oh,
spit it out, baby.
No, well, that fucking bird, dude. Like,
oh, you want to swallow the bird?
How many times do we have to hear that bird? No, no.
That was
to me the subway scene towards the end where they're trying to capture him. Although it was cool, like I felt like it became repetitive. I felt like at one point it's just like him going out of the subway, going back in, them sending different people. I mean, I don't know how they did it in that time. Like trying to pursue like some type of killer hitman.
Well, explain the scene a little bit. Explain the scene a little bit more.
So
he's basically being tailed.
He's being tailed by the cops.
And so the cops kind of are looking at his every move. They've been bugging his apartment. They think he killed the person that he did kill. And so, he's kind of running in and out of the subway stations and going in and out of buildings and stuff because he's trying to outrun the cops. And sure, it is a bit repetitive, but that's because he's trying to trick the cops because the cops are stupid. And if you just go in and out of the same building over and over again, they might just give up.
Yeah.
Because they're fat Nazis. And I think that's what the Samurai is trying to say. As most films are usually trying to say, especially in French. But no, I get what you're saying though. It was repetitive, and that scene was long when he was in the subway and he was going kind of back and forth, and they were chasing him, and every time, it was someone different who was following him and stuff like that. So
yeah, I was a little confused as to like what were those people supposed to do, because like so they
just keep track of him.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because
they have no proof that he did anything. They just wanted to see.
That's
what
I was
going to
say. So they had nothing on this guy, but they had people chasing him.
Yeah, they were making a pretty big deal. And again, like the cops, because again, they're making a big deal out of nothing. Even though the guy did kill somebody, it doesn't mean that they should be following him around like that. He proved his alibi. He did his rights. I mean, we've all seen the OJ trial. Listen, we know what he killed, but hey, fucking the cops let him off. What can we do? And that's what I think Le Samurai is also trying to say, that OJ.
Not this cop thing again.
No. I'm talking about OJ. OJ is Le Samurai.
But that whole scene was, it was very long, and literally that killed him. Like he was so over that he was like, I'm gonna pretend to kill this jazz singer, and he got murdered.
Well, I think it was sort of like a. I don't know. I can't really explain that ending too much. I do enjoy that ending.
I like it.
But I can't explain why he would. I mean, I know he wouldn't kill her because she's the person who sort of
he's not going to kill her because the.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I know that he wasn't going to kill her. But I'm saying I don't know why he would do that, to make that deal to get shot. What he was sacrificing himself for, because he really kind of didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like he didn't kind of have to. You know what I mean? Like he could have just hid from the cops still and just kept.
Well, the cops
like,
had nothing on him.
That's what I'm saying. He could have just laid low and then got back to that jazz piano player lady.
Yeah.
Who didn't point him out in the because he
had his back.
Yeah, because she saw him shoot the guy that he
Well, she didn't see him. She saw him leave the room. You know.
Right, but
she
she
can
knows that it was
killed.
him.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
she knows.
And so we're not doing semantics here.
Well,
she knows,
but
you
she
know,
don't.
we know, we all know, everybody knows. No, yeah.
You do what you do, and I do what I do. Okay.
Well, but okay, so Le Samourai is in a lineup, and the girl who saw him there, she plays piano at the club where he shot the guy.
Yeah.
Valerie.
She doesn't. Her name's Valerie.
She's very beautiful.
Okay, awesome.
She is very beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
I give this film 4 jazz Valerie's piano player.
You're just right
Already?
just right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Just off her beauty. Yeah?
All right then.
Just straight off her beauty. Okay.
well,
I would have
hey,
died
Mondo's-
for. I would have died for her too.
All right. Hey.
I'm explaining the ending. I would have went there. I would have tried to meet her. I would have got shot. I would have been. It would have been a whole deal. You know?
Yeah.
But you've
Okay.
been okay
She would have
with that.
remembered me forever.
And that's a good way to get remembered for sure.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah. So she doesn't pick him out of a lineup, and so he wonders why, and then he gets assigned to kill her,
Right.
and he doesn't. But he makes it seem like he's going to, but he sort of kind of does. Like he
goes
makes it
up
seem
to
like
her
he's
on
gonna kill somebody.
He goes to up her on stage, so it's kind of weird.
And he does that thing where he puts on the glove in front of the bartender, and the bartender gets all like frightened and runs away because the bartender knows like this guy's gonna kill somebody.
Bartender's kind of in on the whole thing, right? Like,
Yes.
like he wanted.
He was one of the witnesses, right?
But no, he wanted. I feel like he wanted the club owner dead too, because I don't know. There's that scene like right after like the cops and like the whole like interrogation and the lineup, and he's like one of the guys in that I don't know, that like sweet hotel room. You know?
Are you sure? A lot of those French dudes look the same.
I don't
A lot
know.
of those
I
French
thought-
dudes
I
look
could've
the
sworn that-
I could
same.
have sworn that they had a little conversation. Maybe
Yeah,
like
he was like
it's
in
real
on it.
quick.
Like,
Yeah, it's real quick, and he mentioned something to him. I don't remember what it was, but
Huh.
he does.
Yeah.
talk
Okay,
to
maybe.
him.
I don't remember that,
yeah,
but you're
because
probably
I was
right,
like,
yeah.
oh shit, like okay, so the bartender was kind of he
Right.
wants him dead too. Like,
Okay,
he
well that
knows,
makes
like,
sense
he knows,
why
like,
he
the whole
would get
thing.
frightened and run away in the
Yeah.
scene that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I just didn't understand the sacrifice that he made because I think that
I just
all
told you.
he well, I think all he had to do was find a new apartment with a new bird and just get
Whoa,
get,
you're gonna teach a bird to tell you how to
Spot.
spot a
bug?
a bug in the room, like
Yeah, that was a smart bird, dude.
that's a lot of big commitment, I think.
I mean, he's Le Samurai. He has the commitment.
He
He
has
has
the
the
time.
discipline.
He does.
He has the discipline. He has the commitment, and that's what I'm talking about here. He always does. He's always got a slick hat, a slick suit. You know, because in Drive
Yeah.
he's got the scorpion
Yeah,
jacket.
he has the jacket.
Here
Yeah,
he's
and the gloves.
and the gloves.
And the
Here
gloves,
he's got the fedora. He's got the
The
trench
raincoat.
coat.
Yeah, the rain.
Yeah, the raincoat, and then he's got the gloves,
Mhm.
and that's always his costume.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like even when there's something going on and he's got to put his hat on, he still tries to like fix it.
Yeah.
Like he makes sure the brim is like sharp.
Yeah, and
you
he
know?
knows not to wear the fedora when he goes into the lineup. You know, like that's
Yes.
like when he gets
Because he knows
caught
that's like
in
the way he
knows-
looked. Like that's his
exactly.
signature look.
Might I point out that the way that they do stuff for lineups in like French police or French detectives is wild, because they do that first initial lineup, and then they do like a room full of like people that look
Yeah, it's
very
like
similar.
cops.
Yeah,
And it's
that was, I've never seen any. That was wild. I like that scene. That was pretty cool. That they made that guy go in to try to choose which one it was that he saw. I thought that was pretty cool. That's probably one of my favorite scenes from the film.
yeah, I like that too. The second lineup where the detective tries to trick
Yeah.
the witness and just like put different, like the Le Samurai's like outfit on different
Someone
people
else, yeah.
and trade
Yeah.
coats and everything and different hats, and like even though the fedoras are like kind of different colors, and
Yeah.
then even the guy who's like the witness, the detective jokes is like, oh, imagine if you were really paying attention.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like that was a really great scene too. I mean, like even that when that whole thing was going on with the interrogation, I was thinking like, oh, how great a movie that would be. Just like that whole, like, you know, the cop trying to doing the whole interrogation in the police precinct, you know,
Right.
being the whole movie, you know,
Yeah.
where like he's like trying to like trick him, you know, like that's like a weird, that's like kind of like a crazy like.
I don't know. I don't know if I liked as much as it was in this movie. I think if it would have kept going with that, it probably would have got old pretty fast. I think for me, but maybe you're right. Maybe like a whole movie like that, if they're able to keep it interesting.
Yeah,
and keep it,
exactly. Not
Definitely.
this movie, not exactly this movie, but like it gave me like an idea of like, oh, what if it,
Well, yeah,
it was just like this whole
I doubt
interrogation
I
thing.
doubt the French fuck around like that in
That's what
interrogation
kind of-
rooms anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what popped out to me.
But
though,
even
'cause
if they
you
did
see-
back then, or I mean, maybe they do now. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, but that's
that
Yeah, I
is-
guess.
that
Yeah,
is-
I couldn't
don't
say.
know.
That
I
was
couldn't
cool
possibly
that,
say either.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's different from like a normal crime film, you know, like where you see the lineup
For
and
sure.
it's like, okay, cool, that's it, and then they move on to the next scene. But this kind of
It's like a procedural.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
definitely like
yeah.
something where it's like, okay, cool, I've seen this before, but
And
then
that-
when you see that,
And that's
second
where it
part,
reminded me of like the Usual Suspects. You know,
Okay.
just that little part, you know, like I mean, not the whole movie, but
Right.
I get. Yeah,
just
I
that,
get
you
what you're
know,
saying.
just that
Mhm.
little like interrogation, like you know, the lineup thing, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, what's the name made it his own by like them like the whole lineup kind of joking around and stuff.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
and then
you
the
know.
story is completely different in a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
ways too, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, for sure,
But
it
just,
does
like,
have that
little
vibe.
piece, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
definitely.
for sure.
But I mean, let's just talk about Alain Delon.
Delon.
Delon. Yeah, he's. I mean, come on, tall drink of water, right? Tall glass
Apparently,
of
he
water.
he was
Real
supposed to be
cutie.
one of the best looking people at that time.
I
That's
agree.
why they got him for that movie.
I agree.
At
So-
that time, I mean, of all time.
So
maybe.
the whole point of it,
I don't know.
I mean, everyone in that movie is super attractive.
Yeah.
Even like
the pianist, the
yes,
Jane.
the woman that he has kind of like an affair with
Yeah,
or whatever.
Jane, yeah.
Yeah, all like everyone is super attractive. Even that old cop.
Which will I say?
Young
Jane.
that
Jane-
old cat.
You say not to bring up this cop shit again. Let me talk about.
Jane stood out to me because
Lagrange.
Let me talk about that French lieutenant's ass.
I'm talking about Jane, but
Okay, yeah.
she's like that character was so down
Me, Jane,
for
you
him.
Tarzan. Actually.
Yeah, because she wasn't even with him anymore at that point.
Right. Well, just the fact
Yeah.
too where
But
he
she
goes-
was down for him.
Yeah, where
at that point.
where he goes to her apartment afterwards after all is said and
Ladies,
done.
don't
and
be
then,
down for nobody.
And
No man.
The cops went through all her stuff, and he asked her like, "Oh, is this all this mess for me?" And she says like, "I've never been, you know, it's never been an issue. I've never been in trouble for you or whatever." However the line goes, like that
Yeah.
was dope, you know, because they did trash her apartment.
She's a ride or die.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she's
And-
literally less samurai, ride or die. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
If you're a less samurai, you're gonna want a girl like that by your side.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, ladies, I wouldn't recommend it because they're gonna leave your ass behind. Because
Yeah,
men are garbage.
Yeah,
For
they're
a
gonna die
pianist.
for the
For a pianist.
jazz penis.
Yeah,
He's gonna get
Side.
shot up for some jazz
Which,
penis.
well, I don't
man.
blame him for it. Man.
Yeah, Mono's all for it. He's down to die for either one of you, I think.
Hit up
But-
Marco.
But I think that was a really cool aspect there too. That it's just like this woman who's like really like in love with him.
Yeah.
And he just shows up to her house to use her as an alibi. He
Yeah.
doesn't really. I mean, I don't know. It kind of like. It sort of implies that they do the nitty gritty sometimes. They don't show it or get into it in the film.
It's implied.
But it's implied that she really does have like an attraction to him,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a physical attraction and stuff like
Who
that.
wouldn't?
Yeah, no, who wouldn't? Like, especially when he shows up in that fedora. Come on,
Yeah.
Whew, it's sharp. It'll cut you.
Yeah.
It'll cut
Ladies,
you.
let us know what you think.
That bill will
He's,
cut you. Yeah, we're gonna post pictures of that guy and let us give us our star rating.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, the real point of this podcast was for this real question: who would you?
Yeah.
Ryan
It's-
Gosling or
yeah.
Alain Delon?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Whose
Ooh,
hog is
that-
hoggier?
Yeah, we're changing this to Hot French Boys, the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going deep into him.
Yeah, for sure.
And Delon, he's a mega star. He in France, right? I mean, I'm saying he did a lot of good like he's known for a lot of films. He has a lot of films on the Criterion Collection.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in
he does.
Purple Noon.
Yes, he's in Purple Noon. I think there's other ones, but I
Yeah,
didn't bother to remember them.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah.
Yes, but so his performance, I mean, just solid in terms of like, because it's happened throughout history where there's a guy who looks good, but it doesn't mean he can act. It
Right.
might mean he could look good on screen, but it doesn't mean he can act.
Right.
But every now and then, some dudes come around
They
with their
can
total
act.
package.
Yeah.
They look good and they can act. And, because Alan Dion's got those deep blue eyes.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
super deep, you could just fall into him.
Yeah, you get
So
lost.
if he's like, yeah, he's showing up to kill you in that fedora
No,
and those eyes. I mean,
you're not
Kill
gonna
me,
know
please.
what to do.
if I
Kill
can
me,
pull the
please.
trigger,
Yeah,
bro.
you're not gonna know what to do.
Yes.
I'll gladly die.
And I think his performance too. It's never like really like scary. We're just like, oh man, this guy's like a crazy killer. But
Right.
but he does give that impression that like he doesn't fuck around. If you're gonna fuck around, he's gonna fuck around back.
Yeah.
But he doesn't go around just acting tough or trying to be scary or anything. Right. He just, when he can, he knows when to do shit. You know what I mean? And that's the scariest thing of all, I think, of like characters like that. And I think like the looks that he's like, because a lot of his scenes are like looks at people. Even in the police procedural part, he's mostly just staring at people.
Yeah.
The witnesses that are looking at him, he's giving them like these looks that are just kind of like,
He's stone cold.
yeah.
That's like
sure.
one of the things too. Like, yeah, he's like a great looking guy, but he could and he can be flashy and kind of like not pretentious, but like just like full of himself,
Okay.
But he's not, he's trying to be in the background. He's trying to be going unnoticed and
Right.
be all this stuff,
And I think a lot that's what his costume has a lot to do with it too,
Yeah.
like all the covering up with the hat and everything.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and he does it great. That's why I'm pointing
Blends
out
in
his
very
acting.
well,
Like
yes.
he just knows what the part is and is going for it for sure.
Hell
I
yeah.
loved it.
No, it was great.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys want to give it a rating? You guys want to rate it up or?
No?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I mean, because
Can we talk about anything else about it? Or?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, we could talk about the cinematography of it. We didn't really get into that. I mean, it's a lot of really just kind of bland and dark colors that he really makes like pop in this very like lively way.
Yeah.
And none of the colors are like, there's not a lot of like big reds or things like that. Like purple.
Nothing stands out too much.
Right. It's mostly grays and blues and dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just the camera movement. I mean, you're not supposed to notice it, but I mean, you do. I mean, if you're paying attention, you do notice it.
Yeah.
You do in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Like exactly. Like I'm noticing the whole thing. Like when when he's creating his alibi, sort of like doing it. Like he's going to like that ex-girlfriend's house.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that guy is gonna be coming at 2 p.m.
Right. Yeah.
2 a.m.
Right, he
knows
time.
what, and that whole scene, like just like the guy driving up and parking, and like him waiting behind, like and waiting for him to come out so he can see that he can see him like leave the apartment building.
Very well, but
yeah, just that whole scene. I mean, like it's like a slow scene, but I mean it's just so like
it's slow tension.
Exactly. It's
yeah.
like one of those like slow tension things where like you're just like
is he gonna get caught? Is he gonna like
what is he doing? Like is he like you don't even know, but like you realize he's setting up his whole alibi, for later. It just I don't know, it's just like all the scenes were just so great. Like I mean they were like they just like they didn't cut a lot, like where it's too choppy or anything. It just like let the scene play and like
and let everything
along
breathe,
for the
sure.
ride.
For sure.
Like that was I don't know. I really like this movie a lot.
Yeah,
obviously.
I think you see it a lot in the subway part, like where he keeps jumping from train to train. Like you see how it transitions very well. It's almost like one long shot. Like he nailed it. I mean, I'm sure they cut in between, but the way they shot it and the angles they got from it, that's where you could tell the most of what they were using as far as cinematography and the shots that the director wanted to get. Right? You know what I mean?
And I think the fact, like you were saying, that the fact that he lets the scenes breathe and stuff and not cut all choppy and like let everything happen, like you have to be good at acting, and all the actors bring it in the scenes that they're in. They bring, whether it's the tension or whether it's the sort of that kind of like quiet kind of brooding kind of like you don't need to say words, you just know what he means by his looks. They all do it very well, everybody in it. I mean there's the whole time when they're in the in the station where the cop is mostly doing all those things and talking about trying to figure out who the killer is, and they have the Samourai in there and he's doing all those different tricks. Like there's really no lines for him at all until they do like kind of a little interrogation really. But you could just like see, like I said, like these looks that he gives everybody. He gives like these people different looks, and like you could just like, oh, like he's just like giving this guy the intimidating one. He's giving her the kind of like
because
like
one
the
or two
sexy
guys
one.
Let's go back to my room later.
The
one or two
tired
guys
eyes.
know like say, oh yeah, that it was him, blah blah, and like other people like
you're right.
And the other witnesses like, oh no, it wasn't him, it was someone else.
Right. They like once because it's the piano player from the club. She's the first person they ask.
She's like
yes, because when she says no, I feel like everyone doubts themselves because she says like definitely it's not him, and so everyone else they ask kind of doubt, except the like two older men at the end are just like nope, that's definitely him.
Well, that's a weird thing too. Like why does she not point him out? Like
Yeah, they don't really get into it too much at first. When I first saw the movie, I thought maybe because she's the one who like she had wanted him dead for a reason. Like I thought she was gonna maybe mention like some reason, like he used to like I don't know, like harass me or something. I don't know something, but they don't really explain too much why she would just let him walk out and not put him out. I don't know. Maybe she just fell in love with him. I mean, he's got those blue eyes, those deep blue eyes. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, if you watch this movie, you'll let this guy murder someone in front of you. You won't call the cops.
Oh yeah, for sure, no problem.
Yeah, you'll call the chapel and you'll get married. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So let's wrap it up with this, right? And let's grade it because I think we're praising it. I think, but
we're loving it.
I want Nacho to grade it first because he hasn't really been saying much about it. I mean, you have, but I want to hear kind of your final thoughts on it. And your grade on it.
On this neo-noir 1967 film from France.
Yeah, French New Wave, baby.
French New Wave.
You're all mad about
the
that?
New Wave.
He's all French New Wave, baby. Like all mad about it.
No, I like the movie. It's a movie with not a lot of dialogue. It's something that movies that I associate with the movie I brought up next. I guess maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think, but I think the next movie that we're going to talk about, that director, I think he was the first one that I was introduced to kind of like movies with like not a lot of dialogue. Where you're just kind of watching, you're kind of like hearing
Nicolas Winding Refn.
Yes, I was going to bring it up later, but yeah, where there's not a lot of dialogue. You're kind of watching what's happening in the story being put in front of you, but no, this
you cannot like it. It's okay.
No, I
that's what we're here for you to give us your opinion.
Film. I just don't think I like it as much as you guys.
That's fine.
That's fine.
But
Just
say
it, baby.
I'll second that.
I think it's a good film.
Stop acting like we're not recording a podcast, and
No.
Spit it out.
No, some of the scenes to me, they could have been cut a little shorter. That's all. I think, and you can disagree. That's fine.
You don't like this fucking
movie? Fuck this movie. Fuck that bird.
I was gonna say something really mean right now, but I'm not gonna say it.
No, say it.
I was saying because you're short, you like short movies.
See, this is why
short
I'm here.
man, short film.
I'm what's her name in?
This isn't the short film podcast.
I'm the butt of the joke. What's that lady's name in that movie? It's Mad World.
Ethel Merman. You've always been Ethel Merman. You know it.
That's fucked up.
All right. So I'm sorry. Say what you're saying. You don't like anything.
I don't like anything. I don't like this film.
It's too long.
It's
for someone who's so. I'm just kidding.
They didn't cut it short. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Again, you cannot like it. It's no big deal. I don't know.
It's not that I don't like it. I just think
you cannot like it as much as we do.
We can have like criticisms about it.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. You just got to spit it out.
There were just a couple scenes that just seemed like.
Which scenes?
There was one scene where you were just kind of like in the corner, like not doing anything, and then it just. I can't even describe it.
Like Crumb listening to records in the corner.
No, it's what.
The part where he gets home and he puts that stuff on his wrist.
When he gets shot.
Yeah, after he gets shot.
I mean, it's fine. We really don't have to go through scenes for you to remember that you don't like them. You could just tell us why you don't like it really quick and then give it a rating.
No, I think besides that,
keep it short.
Just some scenes were long. They were a little too long for me.
That's fine. That's fine.
And that's it.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
So what do you rate it?
I'd rate it a 3.5. That's all I got. I can't even think of anything witty for this.
Yeah,
all right,
that's not too bad.
That's fine. You always make it seem like you're gonna give it like a half star with these like holding back with these like.
I know. I'm gonna start giving my rating, and then you cut me off and be like, I didn't want to be like I didn't like this movie, but
3.5 stupid birds singing. That's what I'm gonna give it.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna give it lower.
No.
Yeah, that's actually really good score.
Pretty good,
Thank you, Diego.
I think I'm with Nacho as far as like not liking it as much as you guys did.
I'm cutting this review off. So,
No, I
stop.
I did enjoy it. I did see I did see the parts of why it's praised. And I do agree with it.
Yeah. Remember, this is the Hagazusa, Valerie, and Hurricane Wonders guy.
All right.
Keep going.
Well, that being said, no, I did enjoy it. I think this is probably one of the first films I see the new wave French new wave stuff going around, because I know that was a big deal during like.
It's not going around now, but it was going.
No,
around
but
now.
I say during that time, during the '60s.
You've never seen like Francis Truffaut and Jean-Luc Godard movies?
I probably haven't.
Oh no! I'm just asking. No,
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
trying to say like.
But
But
I mean,
I'm
even if I have, I don't think I've. Especially the way this was filmed.
For sure.
I could tell what they were. I think this conveys it a little bit better.
Well, no. If you see the other ones, it's same. It's like the same thing.
Well,
and
maybe,
I'm taking the new wave.
Maybe,
I'm taking the
maybe
new
I
wave.
have to watch those in order to compare them. But
We will. I'm gonna make you.
oh, there you go.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. I was just asking. Just wondering. Go ahead.
But I do agree. There's some scenes that I felt like maybe went on a little bit too long. But I think that was part of the film. I think maybe that's just maybe I just don't have the attention span to watch a film like that. I did enjoy it. I don't know if I would watch it again, but I do see why people like the film so much, why so many people give it high praise. And that being said, I will give it a 3.5 curtain moves or whatever.
What is that?
Am I right?
Wait, what are you referencing? The curtain moves?
Yeah, when he's looking to see
When he
where he's going to
finds
put
that
the
big
bug.
boombox.
Yeah, the little bug thing.
Alright.
He moves the curtains quite a few times, so that's what I'm referencing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mondo.
I love this movie. I thought it was great. I feel like it was almost like a
Hell yeah.
perfect film. The scenes were shot beautifully, and they went on for just the
Too
right,
long. Just too long, right?
Exactly the right amount of time to keep you into the film and
Yeah.
on the edge of your seat, like what's gonna fucking happen next, stuff like that. And the scene that Diego's referencing is the curtain thing, like when they're bugging his the Le Samurai's little apartment. That was a great scene. That was so awesome. It was kind of funny too, because he puts a bigger one up
Yeah.
and then he looks at it and then kind of
he's hammering a nail. You're like, what is he
and then
doing?
he's like, he's like, that's too big. and then he has a smaller one. It's like, why wouldn't you just start
Go
with
with
the
that
smaller
one.
one?
Yeah.
You started with the big one.
I mean, that was just like a funny
Yeah,
thing.
no,
like,
it makes no sense. Yeah, 'cause,
it was one of those weird
it's
scenes,
really
but
silly.
but the whole thing, how it plays out, is that his bird, like he has the bird for a reason. It's warning him, like, if anyone's been in
Right.
his apartment, and it does what the bird does, what it has to do.
Right.
And that's like such like one of those ingenious scenes. Why don't you see that kind of shit more? I mean, I guess you kind of do, but I can't really think of any examples. But I really liked that part.
I don't think anything done that well.
Yeah, that's true. I guess so. But I mean, honestly, I give it one hot jazz piano player.
Wait, what?
What?
Because you only need one of those hot jazz piano players.
Wait,
Four is too many.
what?
You gave it a one.
No, give it a real. You can't give it a 1. Give it a real score. Is that really your
you
score?
had said 4. Originally, you had said 4.
Is that really your score? 1?
One hot jazz pianist.
That equals 4.
I mean, that's all you fucking need.
Okay. All right. Sure. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
but-
All right. So.
Oh well, whatever. Fuck you.
All right.
Fuck you.
Okay. All right. So we got Diego Death Diaz, right?
Demon.
Oh, Diego Demon Diaz. Yes, I gotta write that down. Diego Demon Diaz, and you're gonna be Nacho Long. No, the movies don't let them. Oh fuck! I had it. Never mind. It's something about being too short or too long because you don't like long movies. And
No,
that's-
long movies
that's
are
awful.
fine.
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right.
Not so long.
Nacho Long Libres. All right. So here's what I think about this film. I think it's an absolute masterpiece in the neo-noir French New Wave genre, because not only is he able to keep, because in a lot of the French New Wave stuff, they did a lot of fast cutting. They did a lot of crazy kind of experimental stuff. Here, he doesn't need any of that. It really is just a matter of the fact that he told a story that, usually people will try to make a big gangster film out of something like that, where he told in this kind of quiet samurai way, where it wasn't this big, loud kind of movie. It's this really quiet sort of a hitman who is just
kind
sort
of
of
handheld camera too stuff like
he did, yeah.
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
well, like French New Wave stuff.
I'm gonna tell you, I love scenes of that people film where it's like the camera's kind of like following someone from behind. And they're walking, and it's got like this shaky feel.
Yeah.
And they have a few scenes of this where they follow him in corridors through it, and it feels very like raw and just kind of like I don't know. I just love shit like that.
Yeah,
I just love little scenes where and you hear the footsteps, and it just has a sound design.
Yeah, that was one thing that was very prevalent in this. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no. Sorry. Go ahead.
But in this film, you hear the footsteps, like you hear that more than anything else throughout the film, and I thought that was actually like a good touch. Also, to mention too, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I heard or read somewhere after researching this film that the director was really into American gangster films. So that's why you feel.
I mean, most
that's
of the French New Wave.
Yeah. Okay.
About,
so then that's why you have that feeling that gangster old like 30s, 40s gangster films and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
But what I was gonna bring up when you brought up the footstep thing is that we talked about how bad kind of and noticeable the overdubs were in Valerie and Her Week of Wonders in the last episode. Yeah. There's quite a few overdub dialogue in this film, but it's perfect. It's seamless. It doesn't... You notice it, but not in a bad way. You just notice it because, in newer films, you have kind of more perfected thing of that. So you can kind of notice things in older films, but it's spot on. I think it really... The sound design is really great in this. This is just a great movie, and I'm going to give it... I'm going to give it 5 fedoras. Whoa. I'm gonna give it straight up 5 fedoras because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Watching it this other time really solidified that. Whatever.
I think all you need is one perfect fedora. I mean,
hey, come on. You're gonna confuse people. You're like, wait, did Mondo give it 1 or does he like it? What does he not like?
When you see this film and you see this jazz pianist, you're gonna realize I'm right.
Well, what if nobody's like? What if someone's just like?
Why wouldn't you watch this film?
Well, no. But I'm saying, what if someone watched the film and they're like, I guess she's okay. So what he means. One
okay
she's very basic.
Yeah, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't have the same taste as you. You're confusing a lot of people.
Fine, but imagine 4, dude. Like
you wouldn't want 5 of her.
Okay, all right. Well, then you guys.
One thing I wanted to ask you, Jordan, is you own this on Criterion. Are there any good special features on supplements on this?
There are. Unfortunately, they aren't able to get,
the director.
They can't get the director to do commentary and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they have film critics and stuff that
scholars
they know about the history of it, that talk about it, and they have like a bunch of like the essays in it and about how it compares to a lot of samurai films. They talk about that and like the booklet of it. So yeah, definitely. And just even watch it on the Criterion channel, it's on there.
Anything about the alternate ending?
Great. Yeah.
There's supposedly an alternate ending. I thought I read something about that.
Yeah, I saw that on the IMDb.
Oh, it might be on the DVD. I don't know. It probably is.
I don't think it's on the channel.
It might be. You gotta. Oh no, that probably isn't. You're right.
I don't know if they filmed it or not.
But you should check it out. You should get it on Blu-ray because I gotta get it on Blu-ray. You should get it on Blu-ray from Criterion because they got a bunch of great fucking special features on it. But what would be great to get a bunch of special features would be a really cool Drive Blu-ray, right? That's what we're looking at on a Criterion Drive Blu. That's what Nacho's coming here to argue. What do you got to say about Drive, homeboy? What is
Drive about?
Drive, a film that came out in 2011, directed by Nicolas Winding Refn.
2011. Nicolas Winding Refn.
Yeah.
You guys may be familiar with other films.
He has this written on a notepad, so he's fucking writing rhymes down.
This is like 8 Mile.
It's 8 Mile, baby.
8 Mile. Spaghetti. No, that was Dave Chappelle. Anyways, no. All right. Anyways, Drive. So Drive
Shut up and drive.
It's similar to Le Samourai in the sense that it's about this guy who's mysterious. He's not a hitman necessarily, but he's a
wheelman.
a wheelman. He's a driver.
He's a getaway driver. Yeah.
You don't even know his name the whole movie. He goes by driver. That's it. That's what he's credited as. Well, Ryan Gosling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it starts off. Okay, so when I initially watched this movie, the reason I was I don't know. I guess I was in a rough patch at the time, and a buddy of mine, Dano, rest in peace, invited me to go see this movie.
R.I.P.
Invited me to go see this movie, and we went to the movies. We had a couple drinks. We watched it, and I was just blown away by the first scene. It's him waiting for these guys to rob. So he's a driver, right? So he basically provides these details. He's like, within 5 minutes, like, I'm yours.
In the same way that like Le Samurai, he has like rules, kind
Yes.
of like
Yeah.
He has
like a code.
He has rules, a code, yes. And he's providing these details. These guys, they rob this place. He's waiting for them. They're within the time frame. He peels out, and it takes place in like L.A. So you see, I mean, just the way it's shot, the lights, everything is beautiful. Like you see him going through town, hiding from the cops. He's listening to like a police. What do they call it? A police
scanner.
Like a police scanner.
Yeah, it shows like beautiful. LA looks beautiful.
Yeah. And he's in this. Well, I guess what I missed to say was that they should before that they. Man,
I mean, you don't have to explain the whole movie.
No, I don't. But it's just, anyways. Oh,
The whole first scene is
but that
great.
whole first scene is just great. Like him, it ends at Staples Center. He was able to flee the cops, and then it goes into a shot of like the skyline of downtown LA, and it breaks down into that song "Night Call" by Kavinsky. It's just dope, right? Immediately right there, I was just like.
You popped a boner. A chubby.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that first scene is
a musical
fucking
chubby.
I'm gonna
amazing.
love this movie, dude.
Yeah, that first scene's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw that film, I was like, I was so excited by the first scene, like just him driving, like like how he just parks, he's just parked, and then like he drives into like a different like street, and he just turns off all the lights, and like and the cops are chasing him, like that was so tense, and like it was great,
It was.
Yeah, and so it's the movie Drive, directed by Nicolas Winding Refn, and it stars Ryan Gosling, Carey Mulligan,
Carey Mulligan,
and
Oscar Isaac,
Albert Brooks,
Bryan Cranston, Ron Perlman, Christina Hendricks, yes, Albert Brooks. Yeah, it has a
great Albert Brooks performance.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Like one
Honestly,
of the best villains to ever be put on screen because he doesn't have to like be stupid intimidating. He doesn't have to try to be tough or like menacing. You just know that he'll fuck you up. Like and
just like his demeanor, the way he talks to everybody, like that's scary. You know this guy has been around. He means business, and if he wants you dead, you're gonna be dead.
That one scene is great where he meets Ryan Gosling as a driver, and his investment, right? And Ryan Gosling takes off his gloves and he's like, he says, my hands are a little dirty, and he's like, mine are too. Like right there, and then like this guy's.
Yeah, they both jerk off a lot.
Yeah.
And you just feel better, and because you're just like, Jesus Christ, I've been jerking off a lot to this movie, so good thing that they do it. Because I mean, again, we were talking about French Delon looking fine. Gosling's looking fucking, he's looking ripped in this.
Dude.
And Carey Mulligan's beautiful in this as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Oscar Isaac is looking fly in this as well. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just bringing it in this, I think, in the little small parts that they do. Even Bryan Cranston like to play that little part. You know what I mean? Like, it all brings the movie together in, like, a really just kind of interesting way where, like, a lot of films, they'll bring little... they'll make kind of big name actors do little parts where they don't really make a significant impact, and you're just kind of like, I don't know why they got that actor to play that, but here everybody makes sense. You're just like, oh, it really adds more depth to every character that they're bringing. Even that was, I want to say, probably the first time I saw Oscar Isaac, I guess.
That was it was for me.
Sure. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, not mine. I lost that.
Oh, where'd you see him? Somewhere?
That movie Sucker Punch.
Oh,
that was the first time I watched it.
Well,
you fool.
Well, you're the only one here who watched Sucker Punch.
I didn't need to. It was just like, there's that guy.
Oh, you meant to.
You got tricked into Sucker Punch? Come on.
You
got Sucker Punch into Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
Come on, Diego.
Yeah, no.
You were first in line.
Yeah.
No, but Oscar Isaac in this is like really solid because I remember when I saw him in this and I was like, oh shit, like I hope he's in more stuff, especially because he's Latino.
Yeah,
and
I
you're
was
just
like, who is that
Yeah.
guy? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I've never seen him before.
and then everything after that is he's fucking ripped.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's fucking
Yeah.
fucked it up. He's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
I want to see him in more shit except for X-Men Apocalypse. He wasn't
Oh,
very good. in
no.
that.
Yeah, that was-
But
that
we're
was-
not here to talk
Whoa.
about X-Men Apocalypse because if we were,
You'd be voted off the podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it would be voted off. We wouldn't even get through a whole conversation about that.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Drive, and I gotta say that I really do watching this film again. I really did fucking love this film even more because it's just like this, like really like dope, violent fairy tale.
Yeah, it
this
is.
is like a fairy tale because everything that happens. Like it is like a pretty fantastic, like tastical,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's kind of like over the top and stuff. And then him like there's just really this really great scene.
But it doesn't feel pushed.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. There's this really great scene where he's sitting there with Benicio, and he's just like, which one's the bad guy? And they're watching a cartoon, and Benicio says the shark's a bad guy. And he says, well, how do you know he's the bad guy? And he's like, well, he's a shark, And he's just like, well, sharks can't. There's no good sharks. And he's just like, no, look at him. And that's just like literally him being like, fuck, like I'm a shark. Like there's no, like I can never be good.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm always gonna be this.
Yeah.
It's like this
Yeah.
really like kind of like coming into his own kind of like white knight, but he's like really bad
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
You know
It
what
feels
I mean?
like he's the White Knight, but he
Right.
realizes that maybe not so much.
Yeah, and all Nicolas Winding Refn needs to do is really just throw in little scenes like that,
Yeah.
where you catch those kind of references and those things, and you're just like, oh, okay, like I get what's going on here. Like I get
Yeah.
that it, it's not just this, because a lot of people were complaining that it wasn't fucking Fast and the Furious, and that I thought Ryan Gosling was gonna do a bunch of crazy car chases, it was
Yeah.
gonna be action
Yeah.
movie, but it really is like
I was happy that it wasn't that. at
Yes.
all.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
It wasn't. It,
100%.
but
yes.
you talking about references. You caught that reference where he's talking with Albert Brooks at the end, right? Where he's gonna, the whole money exchange, right?
Yeah, the
But-
Scorpion and the Frog.
the Scorpion and the Frog, and how that's about like it's about like, although you don't mean to like hurt others, like you're capable of hurting, like
Right, it's
you-
just in
you
your
still-
nature.
It's in your nature, and you end
they're-
up doing it no matter what.
No
you
matter
know?
what, like even if you
That
really
was-
had the intentions to help, you're just gonna hurt them because that's just your nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he realizes that it's just like
And
that's
he's wearing
why
a scorpion on his back the whole
Right.
freaking movie,
Yeah.
like
and that's why he realizes that like he's not gonna really be able to like just be somebody's boyfriend or something. He's always just gonna be that. Like,
Yeah.
so he has to just either die or I mean, I don't know if he dies
Or
because he
just
drives
leave.
off, but
yeah.
he's gonna like leave so he doesn't get them into any more trouble.
Yeah.
Like Carey
Yeah.
Mulligan and Benicio, young Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, that's funny that you mentioned fairy tale because the ending is kind of like that where, okay, maybe he did die, and then he's just kind of imagining himself driving off, and it being that fairy tale that he survives the whole like ending,
Yeah.
where he gets stabbed and stuff. So
Right.
I never thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah, and also it's just like him going and like basically paying like the gold to the evil dragon in
Yeah.
the castle to be like I'm gonna, I'm paying for the princess to
Yeah, I
be
got the
free.
Yeah, I feel
Princess,
like
yeah.
that was his clean slate. Like
Yeah.
he was absolving himself of all his.
But he sort of knew because even when there's like that great scene at the end, which I fucking absolutely love, where he tells him, let's go, he's all, where's the money? And he's like, it's in the trunk. And he's just like, let's go get it. And then it's just like that scene where like Ryan Gosling just like smiles. Like he gives him that smile like, I know
He knows
you're
where
gonna
it's
kill
going.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know you're going to kill me. And it just kind of flashes back to kind of Carey Mulligan and stuff.
knocking on the door.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, like that's like, yeah, like he's just like, this isn't some like badass dude who's just like, yeah, fucking, I'm just gonna kill somebody and get the chick, throw her over my shoulder and fucking, we're gonna celebrate. He's just like, yeah, like I know that I'm a piece of shit and I can't really like live with her. But if I can get her out of trouble by killing this guy and I die,
Yeah.
No big deal. That's
Yeah,
that's
they'll do it,
love.
yeah.
That's
He
love, baby.
sacrifices, yeah.
That's love.
Yeah,
baby.
really. Yeah, really.
That's
it is.
that LOVE.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, no,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to protect the ones you love, you leave behind.
You have to do things that maybe they don't want you to do, or you got to sacrifice yourself sometimes.
For sure.
And especially because if you know that your nature is a certain way and you might not be able to live the life that they want, you know what I'm saying? Because you know that she wants a normal life. She's not going to want some dude who's just, driving for criminals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you see that with
She already had to deal with the standard with
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac, and so he knows that he's always going to be that. There's no way he could just be a stuntman. He's like, that's his life, that thrill of driving a car and just doing that.
Well, he realizes that at the end, right?
Exactly.
Because you see that he makes an effort, he meets this chick, she lives
exactly.
in the same building. He's trying to
that's what I was
all
saying,
that behind.
from your that scene you brought up, the scorpion and the frog thing. That's I think when he realizes it, when he just starts being like, I'm just gonna kill all these guys.
Yeah.
Because just from the get-go, when Bryan Cranston is explaining, or his name's Shannon, right? He's explaining driver to Carey Mulligan, who is Irene in the movie, and this guy drops out of nowhere 6 years ago. He's good at what he does, but I pay him less than what I should be paying, because he's probably being paid under the table, because he's probably into some shit and doesn't want any records.
He probably has
of him,
no identification or something.
Yeah.
You see that he lives in the same building with her, and he's just kind of hesitant at first until he finally runs into her at that bodega, little liquor store.
Until she needs help.
And
because he's he's a really good person, a real hero.
A real hero, and
baby,
and I like those songs too. I mean, it's kind of cheesy,
the soundtrack cracks.
but the soundtrack is so
that shit slaps.
It's fantastic. It fits every scene, every song, the score, the songs that they picked out for specific scenes. It just fits so well.
It's literally like a techno fairy tale vibe, this kind of synth 80s fairy tale kind of vibe.
Would you say this is Refn's best thing that he's put out so far?
Yes, I would probably say this is probably his best movie, even though I like Bronson very much. I like Only God Forgives very much.
He did Neon Demon as well.
Neon Demon is absolute garbage. Neon Demon is garbage.
What about Valhalla?
I have not seen Valhalla Rising.
You haven't seen Valhalla Rising? Okay.
And I haven't seen Pusher either, the Pusher movie.
I've been wanting to watch the trilogy.
I would love
that's on my list of things
if Criterion put out the Pusher movies, but you brought Drive, so I guess we're going to talk about that. But no. I think this is a straight up classic. Okay, look, it's funny because I was showing, I think I shared the interview where he talks to William Friedkin, who directed The Exorcist, and he's talking about classic films, and Friedkin likes Drive. He he praised it when it came out, but he's talking about masterpieces and Citizen Kane and older films, and Refn's oh, we forgot to mention Drive, but that's okay. And William Friedkin's just he's we won't know about Drive for another 10, 20 years. We won't know if that's a masterpiece. He's all, no, it's a masterpiece, but it's okay. And I think, William Friedkin, and I keep saying this name, I think I say it different every time. Friedkin? Anyway, the director of The Exorcist.
Fuck that guy.
I think, well, yes, but I think he's right, though. You won't know if a film is really going to last or a masterpiece unless it lasts the test of time. And I really think, for as it hasn't been out too long.
9 years though, so far.
Yes, and I think it does stand the test of time.
I think it holds up, man. Really well.
Yes.
So I mean,
that could be put out now, and you'd be oh shit, I'm blown away by this movie.
Yeah,
for sure. This could be. I mean, this honestly could be a film that came out in the 70s. It really has a very 70s vibe. I mean. It takes a lot from Le Samurai. It takes a lot from sort of 70s kind of slow pace, kind of foreign action films. I mean, Nicolas Winding Refn is Danish, so he knows that kind of slow, really violent, foreign style, which is great. I enjoy watching that stuff. But here, I mean, I think it's his first time working with in English, I believe. Right? All this other stuff is in Danish. He has Valhalla Rising and Pusher, I think, was all before this.
What was Bronson?
Bronson was before it, too.
Oh, okay, you're right. No, you're right.
Bronson.
Bronson was the first one.
That's older, right?
Yeah. Bronson was the first one. Okay, so, but this is kind of the first time that he's working with, big kind
American
of names.
actors,
Or big name. Yeah, American actors.
Well, it was a pretty big film, too.
Yes, it was a very big film because people thought it was going to be Ryan Gosling and Fast and the Furious because everyone's an idiot. Yeah. And I remember when I went to go see this in a theater, these two fucking ladies were complaining the whole time, saying that it was slow and
garbage.
boring,
Wow,
and they
that's
were just
crazy.
saying all this stuff. And at one point, one of them literally said, "Oh, just take off your shirt." She just yelled that at the screen,
Yeah.
and. You know,
I
it's
mean,
just like, look,
yeah,
you
but-
can't just treat Ryan Gosling like a piece of meat. He's an
Oh, for
artist.
real.
I mean,
Yeah.
He's a
when
goddamn
Ryan,
artist.
When Ryan Gosling smashes that guy's head in with his foot, I mean, that was him taking off
Dude,
his shirt.
that-
They
That
like,
was-
and how would you
Yeah.
not get
That
turned
was-
on by
yeah.
that?
That's actually what got me initially to watch.
Turned
this
on
movie.
by him.
Well, yes.
Initially.
Yes.
Well, I was
When
turned on
someone
when he
said-
put the hammer in that guy's mouth.
Someone
Oh.
said that, and I was like, "Dear God." No,
I
but
love me
someone
some
had-
violence.
Someone had mentioned that scene, and they're like, "You need to watch that movie." That's all they said. They said, there's a scene where he does this. He, crushes the skull. You need to watch this movie, and I was like, "Okay, I'm there."
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And see, and that's another thing I love about Nicolas Winding Refn style is that he can get that slow kind of pace, and you're just like, I don't really know what's gonna happen, and then boom, it's just like someone just smashes someone's head in, and there's just blood everywhere, and shit's getting crazy. And I don't mind that. Unfortunately, his Too Old to Die Young, his Amazon series, there's a lot of like horrible, like kind of like rape and things like that in there. So it's too much for me to watch. But the stuff that doesn't have that is really fucking like it's masterful. He's like a masterful director, and then keeping the camera steady on you and letting things play out, but slowly kind of letting them play out, and then really like letting the kind of actor's body and like movements, like in their facial expressions, really kind of like tell you what's gonna happen. Like he focuses a lot of like on hands and like fists and like things like that, and it just and I'm glad Nacho brought this because I think it should be in the Criterion. I think
That was
it's,
one thing I noticed too. Like
I was gonna say the lighting too.
I've seen this movie a few times. I saw it in the theater, obviously. But this is like when Bryan Cranston was blowing up because of Breaking Bad,
right?
And he was kind of just starting doing movies again.
He was doing a lot of in a lot of films like this.
He was popping up and stuff. And I liked him when I saw him, but this time I really noticed his performance. I forget the scene exactly where he's just talking to. He's talking to Ryan Gosling, like I think on the set of like the movie that they're doing, and Ryan Gosling's obviously the stuntman or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And just the way like Ryan. Bryan Cranston's like, just like how he's talking to him, his stammer, his whole thing, and like
he's like fast talking to him.
Yeah, exactly. But and I've never seen like I realized I never really seen Bryan Cranston like that. Like he's given a great performance, and his whole body movement, and you find out later like, oh yeah, he messed with these guys and they broke his pelvis or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, and you see that when he walks away from that conversation, and you can feel like Bryan Cranston like. He's hurting, like in every scene he's walking kind of like that, and I realized how great Bryan Cranston's performance was.
Nice
in
good,
it.
Yeah, no, that's good that you brought
And
that up too.
I
Especially
wish
because
I would see him in. I wish he'd
feel
do
like all
better
characters
movies,
did.
kind of, because he kind of just.
he kind of stopped.
You know,
he was sort of like in a good run for a bit, and then he's not really in anything that's like stands
But
out.
I mean, if someone
He did,
knows
like,
how
a
to
Disney
use him, they know
Plus,
how to.
like,
They can use him, Like,
Mighty
Yeah,
Joe
he's a
Young.
great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like you said. I'm glad you brought that up because he's a pretty pathetic character.
Yeah,
And and not in the same way that you kind of saw it in Breaking Bad. It's a different kind of pathetic.
Yeah, exactly.
And it really takes really good acting to kind of like differentiate, especially when you're known for like this certain role.
and Breaking Bad was still going on at this time.
Yeah. And
It was like the
still,
height of his popularity.
and everybody knew him because of that.
Yeah,
Everyone was like, "Oh shit,
exactly.
he's great in Breaking
Yeah.
Bad," and he was winning Emmys and shit.
Yeah.
And this, I think he really does, like you said, it really brings something else to it, a physicality, but also just the way in that scene where he's just like, "Oh, I got to give you extra 500."
he's
all, but of course,
he's not
split
just being
that.
Walter White. He's
Right.
being is this other character.
Yeah,
like,
and he's also the comic relief sort of a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it works. It's fuck yeah, and everybody's great here.
But everyone in this film, and especially Albert Brooks' performance,
Albert Brooks
I
is
mean,
probably
dude,
he got snubbed. He got snubbed.
You see this guy like in all his like comedies, his movies that
Yeah.
he's directed. He's just kind of like
He's Little Nemo's
he's
dad.
shy.
He's
He's
Little
actually
Nemo's
more
dad.
he's actually more evil and more of an asshole in his comedies than he is in here. But here he's a little more menacing.
Because
It
here he's
feels more
face
menacing.
value,
Yeah.
And the other ones he's kind of he's kind of a, I don't know. You don't think he's an
No,
evil
for sure.
guy, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
But like, it's just in the way he delivers the lines, the way he's talking to people. Like, when he first talks to Ryan Gosling, that scene is just like he's telling the story about like how he knows Bryan Cranston, why he's not really friends with him, but why he still deals with them and stuff. You know? And it's just like yeah, it's a haunting story. Like, there's no like, this guy would fuck him up too or break his pelvis. Like, who's to say it wasn't him that broke his pelvis? Like, who got those other guys to do it for him? Like, it's one of those things. Like, it's one of those things where you could, I don't know, you question him. Like,
yeah.
you can't take his word for anything. Kind of. Like, he's kind of like turning the story as he wants it, or however.
For sure.
And I don't know. Yeah. You never see Albert Brooks like that, and everyone was talking about his performance when it came out. Like, it was one of those things.
Everyone thought he was going to get nominated for an Oscar, and they snubbed him because he's Albert Brooks, and he's got a mouth, and he'll say some shit. I love Albert Brooks. Albert Brooks is great. Nacho, why should this be on the Criterion Collection? You haven't said anything. You haven't given me any reason why.
I said
argue. Come on.
I said
why?
The music, the Ryan Gosling.
Seriously though, why?
Yeah, why not? No, I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, I guess I would like to see more extras. Did you guys read that it was supposedly based off a book?
Yeah, it says it's based off some novel.
Some type of novel, right?
I think.
I don't know. I was just trying to think like features.
Originally, it was going to be a movie with Hugh Jackman. Directed by I think the guy who did the Warrior and the Accountant.
Okay.
I think.
Really?
Yeah, and it was going to be based off that script, and it was more kind of an action thing. And then eventually it went to Ryan Gosling, and he started kind of getting bigger, and he was able to choose who he wanted to direct the film.
Oh, really?
So he saw Bronson, and so he asked Nicolas Winding Refn.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Interesting. No, I mean, there's nothing to remaster here. I mean, visually, this movie is just, to me, it's beautiful, man. Like I was trying to bring up earlier, like, the lighting and all that, and just the stark light they have in certain scenes, and just everything, the way it's shot. I don't know, like, it would just be nice to like have some commentary about like actors, the directors, and all that. I don't know, man. It's just, especially with that type of cast that they have, every character in this movie like play their role like amazing. I think, again, we've already talked about Albert Brooks, but I think he's probably my favorite. Like him, it's funny because I hear his voice, and I close my eyes and I hear Little Nemo. He was in Little Nemo. I don't know.
Yeah, he was the dad.
He was the dad in Little Nemo.
That's a Papa talking. Right?
Yeah, possibly. It's like Little Nemo, and like he's so like right off the bat, I hear his voice, I recognize him, Albert Brooks, and it's just to see him transform, and not necessarily transform. You don't know from the get go. He's just this vicious like mobster, that doesn't give a fuck, just murder you, So I just think adding this to the Criterion Collection, some more extras, because I feel like there was nothing that was really put out for Drive that necessarily was like commentary or anything like that.
I mean, they have like some Blu-ray special features on certain Drive things, but I mean, besides special features, I mean, what the movie itself, like, what does it, like, why should it be preserved in the canon of film?
Why should it be preserved?
That's crazy. Like, what this podcast is about, right?
But yeah, like, that's one of the things too. Like, I would like a supplement to be like, maybe like a little, like so many years later, like talking to the cast, because it is so like, it is one of the things where the cast is so like stacked, like Ryan Gosling, he was known, he was like doing his thing, but I think this really put him on the map of where he could start picking and choosing what he wants to do, and he became a bigger star after that, after everyone seen him in Drive,
and
seeing and taking him seriously, like, because he was just kind of a romantic comedy. Yeah, he did Lars and the Real Girl and Half Nelson, which is okay. Like he was acting, but I mean, it wasn't like a huge hit. And this one really brought him to the forefront of everything. What did you do next? Like, Lost in the Pines, like Gangster Squad. Like he was kind of like all
Well,
over the
I mean,
place.
you know, Blue Valentine. I mean,
Blue
he did
Valentine.
like a bunch of good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
During
he
that
was doing
time.
really great stuff.
Yeah.
After
He
after
did-
Drive.
I mean, Only God Forgives. A lot of people didn't like that, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I liked.
thought that was.
I liked
That all
Only
came
God
after that,
Forgives.
right?
Yeah, it was all
That was
after.
after,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Like,
Well, I
this
guess
really
if
put
Nacho
him,
doesn't
like-
want to make an argument for it, I will, and everybody. But no, but because yes, it should be preserved in the sense that like it's the first time that like American audiences really got this sort of neo-noir, really foreign feeling type of film where they had someone like Ryan Gosling, where they didn't really expect him to be in something like that because he was like sort of a teen idol type thing. You know, I have an example of what I said earlier where those two, females were in the theater and they were just very like, oh, just take off your shirt, you know, like this is boring.
Yeah, initially that's what they went
Right,
for.
and they expected it to be kind of just like this like action thriller where he doesn't really need to act, you know? And I think it kind of turned a lot of people on their heads and made them realize, oh, okay, like I should watch stuff like that because there's actors that I enjoy that will be in films like that. You know, a lot of them didn't end up liking it, but you know, whatever. It weeds out all the weak ones. You know what I'm saying?
No, one of the things about this too is why I think it should be like on Criterion or something like that. Is I mean, I have the Blu-ray of this film, Drive, but I didn't watch it on Blu-ray. I watched it on Netflix, and the Netflix, like the audio, I feel like it doesn't do it justice because I remember seeing this film in the theater, and like the soundtrack, it was like too loud, but I think it was meant to be too loud. You know, like all the songs and like all that stuff, and like. I think that plays a big part of it. And when I watched it this time on Netflix, it was kind of like, dude, I remember the songs fucking like hitting, you know, like, and I feel like that's one of the things that needs to be preserved is like the sound of this film, you know, like, and that plays a big part in everything, like, you know, doors closing, like cars screeching, you know, stuff like that.
Well, that was
and I feel like it didn't hit like on
Nacho,
Netflix.
You made two great arguments so far.
You know, so that's one of the things why I think it should be on Criterion because they would definitely take care of the sound on this film, and and that's like a huge part of it. You know, smashing that fucking face in, everything. You know, like the music. You know?
I remember hearing that watching that scene the first time, and I remember getting that feeling like crunching and like, you know, it felt gross, nasty. You know. But I watched it.
And then when the music too, like when he's driving around with Carey Mulligan and her son, and they're driving around, and it's like this like whole like fantasy like fairy tale kind of whole deal. They're driving around LA, and like the song is fucking loud, like it's booming. Like, you know?
That's what. And that's another thing too. It brought that kind of like that idea of like that fairy tale, but it's like this kind of like modern fairy tale where you can have that kind of music.
Exactly,
you have that sort of like uniform where he has the scorpion jacket.
And
it's sort of like, again, like a knight in shining armor. He's like showing up with like this, you know, a symbol. That's like
that's
his symbol.
A show like his family crest or something like that. You know, like
exactly.
It's,
and it's just Nacho, you're making great points about why this movie should be in the Criterion Collection. Thank you. So obviously, Diego, do you have another point to make for Nacho?
Actually, I kind of wanted to get into some few things that I actually found out. I think it also, I would like to hear more from the actors themselves, why they decided to take that role. Because you see a lot of roles for actors that aren't usually doing that kind of role. Case in point, you guys made that argument about, not an argument, but the stance about Ryan Gosling being like a romantic comedy star, you know, during that time, and then him switching the roles and being like, you know, I want to do something more serious, something more gritty, and he did a fabulous, fantastic job, if I might say so. But I wanted to hear about like some of the other actors too, like why they decided to do that, because I read somewhere too that Ron Perlman, like, he kind of won the role over because he kind of like suggested to the director that he wanted to play a Jewish gangster in like New York. Like that was his stance on why he wanted to play that character. You know?
That was a funny scene too. When he's talking about like they still took
and then they
like
pinch his,
Jewish
they pinch
boy,
my
like,
cheeks.
you know.
And then also I found out too that Ryan Gosling.
Damn.
My bad.
Oh my god, the Gosling fan club is gonna fuck you up, bro.
No, but he
Two
rebuilt
Canadian.
that.
They're both Canadian, though, right?
Oh, what does that mean?
He rebuilt.
Am I
that,
right, fellas?
He rebuilt that Chevy he drives, or quote unquote, drives in the.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds rebuilt Ryan Gosling's
Reynolds,
Chevy.
Oh, okay.
Ryan Gosling rebuilt that 1973 Chevy he drives for the movie in preparation for the film. So that's like cool little things that kind of I want to know more of. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you'd like more like info on it, like whether it be commentary or maybe like a little documentary.
Yeah,
about
specifically why
Something
they
like
decided or what pushed them to do the roles that they did. Because this is definitely like a different type of film for when it came out. Not a lot of films are being made that way.
No.
Which I understand why like a lot of people were like expecting that whole Fast and Furious
For
thing,
sure.
You know?
Especially on the American shores, buddy. Like none of these fucking cretins were ready for some
and
shit like that.
I enjoy that it was a curveball, that you did get somewhat of that foreign feeling to it, but that like almost like suspenseful noir type feeling too. Like that was cool. And I know a lot of people do say like because I have read that a lot of people think that some certain parts drag a little. I necessarily don't think so. I think the film runs well from beginning to end.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty like good pace.
Yeah,
that was another thing too. I noticed is like, I remember being, long, maybe not dragging, but like just like the scenes playing out. But when I was watching it this time, it was pretty snappy.
Yeah,
like,
I watched it. I actually watched it with my sister, and she was like, "Wow, that was a good movie," because she had never seen it. So I enjoy that the fact that I kind of introduced her to something, and she was like captivated from it. It wasn't something where she was like, "Oh, that was either too draggy or too or it didn't fit well."
It wasn't
For sure.
Hagazusa.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Wow.
Right, for sure. No, it definitely wasn't Hagazusa.
I want to know what your sister thought about Hagazusa.
Diego, are you letting it in?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mondo.
I'm letting this in.
I'm letting it in as well. Wow, Nacho, that was a great argument you just gave us. Wow, all those arguments you just gave us was just...
Big shit, man.
I can't believe you came with such insight and everything to make us to think this. So yeah, it's in. Drive. It should be in there. I just would love to see the artwork on it. I just love to see some dope artwork.
Yeah, it needs some good artwork.
Yeah, it needs some good artwork. It just and also like, I think it came out in a time too where like a lot of people were sort of kind of just getting into film, kind of really just like
everyone just saw The Dark Knight.
Yes,
so
everyone just saw The Dark Knight.
They thought they were film cinephiles.
Yeah,
and they still think.
And so I think it is really important because it did like reach a lot of people in a way that people would want to check stuff like that out. But Nicolas Winding Refn, we're going to the toilet. You need to get back out of it, and I think you can.
That was a good point.
Not that you need to make Drive again or something that's like Drive, but something that kind of gets us all on board with you again, like Drive. Sure. Even though I liked Only God Forgives, but I get why people weren't really into that. Yeah. But so yeah,
even you weren't really into that after.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't until I watched it like a previous 6 times.
Winding Refn.
Oh yeah.
You see the whole
he has that little documentary where he doesn't really.
Feel like he's like.
Yeah,
oh,
he's
shit,
sort of
I
just like
up.
making it up on the fly.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, shit.
Oh,
I don't.
Really? It was like.
Yeah, he's like, I don't think
I
think this is gonna be a movie.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother.
That's kind of why the way it is.
I liked it.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother podcast.
It's no Drive for sure.
Yeah.
Drive is in the Criterion because Nacho gave such a compelling argument.
Good job, Nacho.
To all of us.
It's a great movie.
Good job.
You guys loved
Thanks
it.
for bringing it up to the podcast.
Yeah. Luckily, the movie was so good you didn't have to say anything. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on Instagram. We're at Criterion Cult Pod on Instagram as well as Twitter. Please, if you have any kind of, if you're just like, Drive doesn't belong in the fucking Criterion.
Suggestions.
Throw us some comments. Throw us some suggestions of Criterion movies we should watch. Just, follow us on SoundCloud as well as YouTube. That's where you can listen to us for now.
Yeah.
And then again, Diego's got that dope fucking intro music. So
outro.
If you got intro, outro. If you need some dope music, some dope metal music, hit up Diego.
Hit me up, man.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good one.
Bye.